Look at this messy office. Look at those wires hanging around. I'm just sick of it. I need to upgrade this. We need to bring this to the next level. So stick around and watch me turn this into this. What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Chris, and in my channel, I try to give you my honest opinion and experiences on affordable products to hopefully give you an idea on whether or not you should purchase it. If this is the type of content you're looking for, then please consider subscribing and tapping that notification bell. So for the last several weeks, I've been working on upgrading my office, and it's just about ready, and I'm super excited to share this video with you. Also, don't forget to follow me on all those social medias because I've been posting a lot of pictures of the behind the scenes stuff and what I've been doing to get this all ready. I have been trying to get this project going for about 6 months, but everything has been out of stock and so hard to order. But after a little bit of patience, I finally got all the pieces I needed. So in this video, I'm going to show you the entire process. Yes, I went with the IKEA desk hack, but added a little bit of my own style to it. I will also be dropping the links in the description for the majority of products and materials I used in this video. So the first step was to paint the entire office and get rid of this ugly tan color. With a little bit of help from my lovely girlfriend, we spent the entire weekend painting the walls, the ceiling, patching holes, and I even changed out the faceplates and outlets to a clean, crisp white. We chose this dark blue color called NYPD, and I got a satin finish, which turned out to be a little bit shinier than I wanted, but we're still happy with the way it turned out. So I ordered these desktops from Lowe's, which they're mostly referred to as butcher blocks. I ordered them as unfinished, so I did all the staining and finishing myself. I ordered 2 different sizes, one 10-foot and one 4-foot, and you'll see why later on in this video. So I've seen a couple different YouTubers installing a hidden wireless charger on their desk, and I thought to myself, that's pretty cool. So I decided to do the same thing, and I bought a cheapy little Anker wireless charger. I actually bought it used on Amazon. It was like $8 or $9. I set up the desktops in my garage on top of sawhorses and made sure I had plenty of room to work around. Also, as a PSA, if you plan on working with any tools and doing any kind of staining or sanding, please be sure to wear safety equipment. So all I did was take off the top on the charger and then trim down the edges on the base to make it as flat as possible. I then marked the location where I wanted to install it and then used a plunge router to start cutting away that traced area. I had to run it through multiple times and be as patient as possible, because if I went through the other side, it would have been game over and ruined the whole entire piece. I had to leave about a 1/4 inch of wood, otherwise I couldn't get it to charge my phone beyond that point. I had issues catching it with the phone case on, so I have to take it off whenever I want to charge it wirelessly. Once I tested it and everything fit perfectly, I routed a small line towards the back so I can hide the cable as much as possible. Then I bought a metal faceplate, which is mainly meant for electrical boxes, and used it to secure the charger and cover the hole. I cut a small piece of wood and sanded it down and then drilled a hole right in the middle and screwed it right into the faceplate. Now I did it this way because I know technology is going to get better, and I've seen other wireless chargers that can charge through thicker materials. They're just a little bit overpriced right now. I'll most likely change this out sometime in the future. Once I was all satisfied with that, I cut the 10-foot desktop to a little bit under 9 feet. I did this for 2 reasons. The first is the 10-foot piece would not fit through my stairwell, and I didn't want any legs on the right hand corner where the desk is going to be installed. I'm using a brace on the wall to help support the weight. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Now it was time to start sanding everything, and I used 220 grit sandpaper and went over it a few times on both sides and all the edges until it felt buttery smooth. I also rounded off all the edges so it could be a little bit softer and not as sharp. I cleaned everything off with a damp and dry towel about 2 to 3 times until I didn't see any sawdust. Now it was time to start staining. I tested a few different stain colors because I didn't want something too dark or too light. It's also important to test the stain on the actual material you're going to be staining, because the color can vary depending on the type of wood you have. Luckily, I'm fortunate that I have some good amount of experience with painting, tools, and then just general home improvements. My father taught me all this stuff, and fun fact, we used to run a home improvement business together in another lifetime. I was going to edit this part out, but you know, I'm only human. You know, we have emotions, people get sad, they get angry, and it is what it is, so why should I hide it, you know? But for those who don't know, my father died about 6 years ago, so, you know, sometimes it just hits you, you know? You make a YouTube video, you're sitting in your car, you're eating dinner. It's just crazy how life works and everything comes full circle. I just wish he was still here to see, you know, Me at my best, and I'm still using all those skills he taught me. I'm sorry. Back to the video. So I went with the Provincial Classic Oil-Based Stain. Make sure you stir the stain slowly, don't shake it, otherwise you won't get a proper color. Then use a rag to rub it in the old-fashioned way. This is probably the easiest process because I only did one coat and I don't think it needed any more. It just soaked it up so well. I let it dry for a good 24 hours before I started on the polyurethane finish. I used the water-based poly, which was a matte sheen, and this stuff was super easy to use and clean up. Also, same thing here, make sure you steer the poly and don't shake it. I used this 3-inch brush with super soft hairs. I highly recommend don't skimp on the brush, get the best one possible. It really makes a difference. You can do this multiple ways, but this was the way I was taught and most comfortable. Just dip the brush in maybe halfway in the poly, and you can be generous with it, don't be scared. You'll be able to even it out as you go. Just pull the brush at a 45-degree angle, more or less in one direction. Don't go back and forth or try not to as much as possible. Take your time and be patient. I can't stress this enough. It's not a race and you want to make sure this goes on as evenly as possible. This product states to apply a minimum of 3 coats and the dry time is within 2 to 3 hours. So I went with 5 coats on the top side and 3 coats on the bottom and waited for about 2 hours in between coats. I love the way these desktops turned out and it's exactly the color I was looking for. I couldn't be happier with the results. While the poly was drying, I started on the IKEA Alex drawers. This is one of my first IKEA products that I've purchased. Putting them together was pretty simple and each one took about 30 minutes. I also put some wood glue on the little wooden dowels that are used to join everything together. This is all fake compressed wood and obviously not the highest quality material, but the look is very modern and sleek and there's really nothing else out there that offers the same look for the price range. I picked up these stainless steel furniture legs so I can raise up the desktop and have a little room to install LEDs underneath, and I also prefer a slightly higher desk. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers using those other type of furniture legs, but they look like soda cans to me and I didn't really like them. I put down some painter's tape so I can measure and mark the spot where I wanted it. I used the square to mark 2 inches on each side as my center point. Then I took the mounting plate and flipped it upside down and used that center point to keep it right in the middle and just screwed it right into place. Then rinse and repeat for each one and then screw down the legs with the bolt and voila, I was done. Once the poly was completely dried, I got some help from my brother-in-law to carry these heavy desktops to my office. I pushed the desktop all the way towards the wall and used the Alex drawers to hold everything up temporarily. I used that piece that I cut from before that I was talking about as the brace and then found the studs and then put some painter's tape and then the level on top of the desktop and did my best to trace the line exactly the height it needed to go. I drilled some pilot holes and also countersunk the screws so it's a little bit hidden and it would also go in at least 2 inches into the stud. I needed that corner to be extra secure because I can't risk that falling. If that falls, it could be catastrophic and it could injure me or anybody else, and all my equipment would be damaged. Once I was confident and everything was secure, I put everything into place and then started on the LEDs. Now, unfortunately, my battery died when I was starting this process, so you're mostly going to be seeing the end result, but I used this LED Spotless channel to conceal the LED strip. It's just a matter of measuring and screwing down the brackets and then snapping the tracks into place. I picked up the Govee Smart LED strips, which are 50/50 LEDs. Now, this is supposed to be spotless and you shouldn't see the individual LEDs, but you can still slightly see that it shines through, which I'm a little bit disappointed because it's a little bit misleading on their description. Either way, I still think it turned out pretty good. So now for the final part was setting up all the equipment and then doing some cable management. I'm gonna be honest, cable management is not my strongest skill and it's my least favorite thing to do, but I knew I wanted this setup to be as clean as possible. I picked up these plastic cable management raceways to use to route the cables. I am probably shooting myself in the foot by using this thing because it doesn't do well with thicker cables and you could only hold so many wires within the raceway. I wanted it to be as minimal as possible and didn't want to put those big metal racks underneath which you can easily see. I did my best to route the cables and make everything nice and tidy and then used this small plastic boxes to hide the surge protector and extra wires. I also used this mesh cable sleeve to hide everything so you really only see one cable coming out of the desk. I think it turned out all right and I can always improve things in the future. Let me know in the comments how you think I did with my cable management and if you have any tips or tricks for me. So after months of waiting and working my ass off to get this all ready, I can finally say, welcome to the dojo. that's gonna be it for this video, everybody. I'm very happy with the way everything turned out, and I can't wait to keep making it better. There's still so many things I wanna do up here. I still gotta figure out some shelving, maybe add some pictures, and then eventually I do wanna add a TV above here and then get a little couch so that way I can maybe watch some TV and then play PS5 up here. I don't know, who knows? We'll see what happens in the future. I also want to give a big thank you to my girlfriend, brother-in-law, and son for helping me with this project. Now don't forget, I put all the links in the description if you're interested on any of the products that I talked about in this video. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to smash that like button. Stay tuned for more upcoming videos. I'm going to be doing a couple more videos on my setup and some of the individual products. That's it, everybody. I'm out of here. See you in the next one.